Yes, guys, how you doing? How you doing? It's Monday, the 29th of December. We hope you're all happy and healthy. Why am I on the right-hand side? I like being over there. That's better. A bit more continuity for a man.
I knew there was something wrong.
The OCD was kicking in there.
Yeah, for those listening in audio, Sean had decided to go play down the right this time. You're Jedley, mate. Stick down the left.
Yeah. I'm doing a little bit of the old, doing a bit of the Declan Rice, right? Playing out of position, you know. Guys, how are you all? Smash the like button for me. Smash the subscribe for Johnny. Hit the notification bell for both of us, and drop your comments thick and fast. Let us know your thoughts. Thank you to Savio for the raid. Big up to him. Big up to you lot. Hope everyone is wonderful. And guys, we are, of course, available on all of your podcast platforms. So if you are out walking the wife and you'd rather watch us back that way or listen to us, then you can do that on Spotify or Apple Pods and all those sorts of things. And also, we are sponsored, of course, today by OK Jersey. If you're looking for your clobber for your New Year's resolutions, get yourself fit, get yourself in shape, and you want to do that with some athleisure wear, you can do so at OK Jersey. You can also find all your football clobber as well, retro gears, new gear, all that stuff. Best prices in town, best prices you could possibly wish for. Well, maybe not. Maybe you get an extra 8% off if you use code FINC, F-I-N-C, at checkout. So big up to them. Big up to you all for joining us. Big day in the transfer world, Johnny. Mate, lots of news, mate. It's starting. It is
3 days.
Starting, Johnny.
3 days.
It's starting, bro. The news, the views, the clues, they're coming thick and fast. We're going to be here we're here all year, but all January with all of your latest, greatest in the world of gossip. Johnny, how are you, my man? I like your hat. I like your top.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Yeah, Christmas has been good to me. Hopefully 2026 will be good to all us football fans, or in your health and personal life, if I don't get a chance soon. Listen, 3 days to go, Sean, to the start of the transfer window. Time for fans to start dreaming of that signing that you've always wanted, only to get to February the 1st and find out it's nothing more than a damn squib. Or if you're a Chelsea, or you're a Chelsea and you sign another 27 players, or Arsenal and you signed 8, I don't know, whatever. But it's time to start dreaming. We've all got our lists, whatever club you may support. Let's see. I personally think it could be a decent window, purely from the fact that it's a World Cup year, and teams might not want to wait until the summer, because the World Cup finishes quite late. They'll already be in camp. Yeah, I think it could be a problem. So get them in early. Do like Man City did last year. Get in a couple of quality players. Guys, everyone in the chat, welcome. Thanks for Savio for the raid, and wherever you're from, if you're here for the first time, you want to chat, talk in the chat, hit the subscribe button. And just one last thing, I had a load of messages over Christmas saying that people were pissed off they missed the show. If you hit the notification bell, if you're subscribing, hit the notification bell, and it will notify you as soon as we're going to go live, and then you won't miss it. All right.
Yeah. Look, lots of places to start from, Johnny. I fancy starting at Bournemouth today, if you don't mind.
No, don't mind.
Bournemouth, obviously known for being a poor man's Brighton, poor man's Brentford, maybe with succession planning, but they're sort of certainly capable and culpable at finding ways to manage the process of selling their best players. At least, well, for the most part this season, they've done okay. They replaced most of their defensive line pretty well, but at the same time, they have been on a horrendous run of form. Who is it you think that they are going to be looking to replace Antoine Semenyo with? But this one from the Daily Mail this morning?
No, but I've got to say, you and I both, we thought we might be wrong, but we did flag the fact that we thought that Bournemouth could not sustain selling all these players and maintain the rush. And we thought maybe we'd been proved wrong. But it seems as time goes on, maybe we were closer to the mark than we thought initially at the start of the season. Who have they been linked with, Sean?
I'm not calling you names here. Abdul Fatawu.
Oh, Abdul Fatawu. Oh.
Yeah. Fatawu? Fatawu.
Fatawu.
He's a Leicester City young Ghanaian winger. 21 games played this season, 4 goals, 1 assist. Look, he does look like an interesting player. Got to be honest. I mean, obviously, he's probably someone that they've identified and think that he'll be just fine coming in. He looks big. He looks strong. He's built like a brick shithouse. Powerful runner. Scores a couple of goals. Nice way to refresh the team. But if Bournemouth going to drop back, aren't they? If they lose Semenyo, they're going to lose not like maybe 50% of their output, aren't they? So
is he a Ghanaian brother from another mother? That
he is a Ghanaian
recommended.
Brother. He is a Ghanaian. It may be, maybe.
Yeah, you know, I have. Listen, I might be going, but you can get my brother from another mother.
Yeah,
Fatwu.
What is this? My name is Abdul Fatawu.
Fatawu.
Immediately.
But listen, what's happening to Monga at Leicester? Can they afford to sell Monga and Fatwu?
Yeah. Monga's definitely on the list, isn't he? Jeremy Monga.
Yeah.
Where's he going? Where's he going at the moment? The latest news about him is that
they're all after him.
Yeah, he is, yeah. But he's got an injury problem, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, he's monged out. So he's
Liverpool, Man United, Real Madrid among top clubs chasing Jeremy Monga.
Spurs were after him as well, but as we know, when it comes to that, get back in the queue, boy. Hey, don't jump the space. You're number 37. Don't think you're in the top 5. No, I mean, listen, I think Bournemouth, going back to the Bournemouth situation, they've had to replace their entire defence. Kluivert's been in and out with injuries. Brooks been in and out with injuries. And they're struggling. They are definitely struggling right now. They will be struggling until Spurs go there in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Where they no doubt find their form. But
Dr. Tottenham will
can they afford, even for the 60 million? The question is, can they afford to sell Semenyo? And I think the answer is yes. And I'll tell you why. Because I think they can afford to sell them. Well, can they afford to sell him at this stage of the season?
Well, it's a release clause. They ain't got any choice.
Yeah, but they obviously made that decision when they signed the new deal into the season. I think they think that they're safe from those 3 that look to be getting cast adrift. And
they're not going down.
And therefore, even if they lost Semenyo, that they could still compete to a certain level, that they wouldn't get dragged in to a battle with West Ham. So maybe they're looking at next season, Sean, to go again and use the money, because they bought in a heck of a lot of money. They've sold, if you think about it, Solanke, 65 million. Semenyo's going to go for 60 odd million.
Hoyson,
50 million. Zabani, 40 million. Kirkes. They're bringing in vast sums of money. Is it just to build?
Bill Foley doing all right, isn't he?
Yeah, he's probably taking it all out, but
probably.
No, the Bill Foley.
Buy another club with it, probably. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing that you could sell Semenyo, Kirk. You could sell a few players. It's almost like people trafficking it. You sell a few people, and then you go and buy a football club. Go and buy Getafe. Go and buy a team in Belgium. Listen, I think there's a lot of teams in Belgium that need to be snapped up. The amount of talent that comes through that Belgium league is unbelievable right now. There's so much talent. There's obviously a lot of talent in Brazil as well, but I think the Brazilian market's a little bit saturated because I think the American money got in there a couple of years ago. And I'm sure there's still some opportunities down there. But a man like John Textor, a man like Bill Foley, they cut from the same sort of cloth. Maybe John Textor's a little bit more rough and ready than Bill Foley is, but Bill Foley's no angel, and I think he might end up buying another club. He's already got a couple. He tried to buy Lorient in France, and their fans went, "No, we are not being no feeder club. English les Anglais, no."
Well, he was involved. He was involved in actually a share that I purchased called PaySafe, which it was one of these trendy reversal jobbies, where they bigged it all up and seemed to have faked some of the numbers. And and there's been a class action against them, I think, in the States. So listen, I feel sorry for the Bournemouth fans. They've got a good manager.
They'll be okay. They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Is Iriola as good as we think he is? And he's just tailored off now because he's had a lot of his assets stripped away from him? Because they do concede a lot of goals, don't they, Sean? Bournemouth.
Yeah, mate. Bill, I put him in the same bucket as I put Marco Silva, as I put Thomas Frank, as I put most of these players, these managers that do well at smaller teams. Pochettino, let's not forget, Pochettino wasn't doing so well at Tottenham, right? And it was that game against Everton that Harry Kane, I think it was Everton, Harry Kane scored the last minute winner that started his trajectory, and also Pochettino's. They both kind of grew up at the same rate. But that doesn't, he was on thin ice at the time, Pochettino. He hadn't started that well at Tottenham. And Marco Silva, all these other guys, Iriola, people don't really pay attention to the inconsistent form, or when you lose a few. When you win a few, people start go, oh, look at this guy's doing well at Fulham, isn't he? Doing well at Bournemouth, doing well at wherever. But their job's not under threat when they lose 3 on the bounce. They come to a big club. Every game is scrutinised by the mainstream media, and you see these guys react differently. They get a little bit snarky. They get a little bit uncomfortable with the scrutiny of defeat. And I think we've seen a little bit of that kind of weird personality of Thomas Frank, where he's called out the fans 4 or 5 times. He's also throwing Ange Postecoglou's, reign into the mix to try to justify. That sort of stuff never happened. That wasn't the nice guy Thomas Frank when he was at Brentford, because no one was ever asking those sorts of questions. But I think the same thing might happen at Iriola. I don't know if he would survive at a big team. He might do. He's a talented manager.
Well, he was the darling. He was the darling, wasn't he? He was the media darling. He was the fans' darling. If you were at a club, and your manager wasn't performing, the first name on the list, probably at the time for the last year or so, has been Iriola. Marco
Silva's name also gets thrown out. I mean, Silva has won 3 on the bounce again. No one was talking about Marco Silva in September or October when he was win 1, lose 1, win 1. All of a sudden, I watched Sky Sports earlier. Marco Silva's interviews back on TV because he's won 3 on the bounce. But when he doesn't win 3 on the bounce, people won't mention him.
And listen, Eddie Howe has been there for a number of years now. He's had significant backing. Sean, and yet he sits below Spurs. Yeah. And yet, is his, are we talking about his job being under threat?
We're not, but I would imagine that there's Newcastle fans are passionate as hell, and they get punchy with their expectations. I don't follow enough Newcastle fan channels to know, but I would imagine
we have a few here though.
We do. Foxy, I've seen Foxy already. Big up to you, mate. Let us know. Sniffer, if you're in the house, let us know. In your circles, as a Newcastle fan channels, are they talking about Eddie Howe not being fit for purpose, or are they patient with him? Because Newcastle do this thing, don't they, Johnny? One year they're out of Europe and they do brilliantly in the league, and the next year they're back in the Champions League and then they struggle it's like an in-out, the hokey cokey of
most clubs, Sean. This is my point. It is so difficult to balance. It's so difficult to balance Champions League and a Premier League top 5, top 6 assault. It really is. Yeah. We see it happen over and over again.
Unless you have obscene talent and luck with injuries and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, not to make it about Spurs, but we struggled massively last year playing a bunch of shit clubs in the Europa League. So to go up to this level, we're obviously suffering from playing 2 games a week. Yep. Crystal Palace are now suffering from playing crazy. But listen, I think Eddie Howe's a good coach, but he is struggling at the moment. Can't win an away game.
There's your answer, Johnny, by the way. There's your answer.
Yeah. Majority.
For those of you listening later on the podcast, Foxy's saying the majority do want Eddie Howe out.
Well, that'd be interesting. I mean, Oliver Glasner would jump at the chance.
To go to Newcastle?
Yeah, 100%.
Would you jump at the chance to hire Eddie Howe?
Not at the moment, no. Not at the moment. I don't think he's No,
So he's the guy. He is 100% the guy that I would back. I think he is. I think he's a fucking brilliant manager.
I just remember, Sean, a few years back. I think it was when Mourinho. Was it Mourinho? Or it might have just been before Mourinho left, and Eddie Howe was out of a job after after he left Bournemouth. So someone can remind me the year. And he was in the stands at Spurs, and there were rumours that he was here to maybe get the Spurs job. Fans were going mental. We don't want him. What's he done?
Really?
Yeah, but that's the nature of fans, isn't it?
He's the sort of manager though. That I just think he's new age manager. Like he's the shithousery. He's thinking about the incremental minutes, like the ways to dial up the threshold on opportunity, advantages, SWOT analysis, take advantage of this, be careful of that, identifying, the best ways for the game state. I think that he's a manager that if Tottenham Hotspur were to bring him in, he's the guy that I would say, even if he has a bad run of form, for me, I think you give him time. He's also won a trophy. He's won Newcastle's first trophy in 50 odd years. They're in the semi-final again of the Carabao Cup. Yeah, they're having a bad season this year for sure. And Newcastle, I think Newcastle's first 11 is better than Tottenham's, but I think their squad.
Well, I was going to say that to you.
Their depth isn't. I don't think they have very good depth.
I think their squad is much better than ours, personally.
Overall squad?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of players that I would take at my club.
Their first 11, I would take half.
Maybe not defensively. Maybe not at the back. I'd take Hall, but I would take their midfield.
Yeah, their midfield is unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd take their wingers. I'd take Gordon. I'd take Bar. I mean, I would take quite.
I wouldn't take Elanga. I don't rate Elanga personally.
No.
I'll take Voltemade. I'll take Livramento. I'd take 3/4 of their first 11 better than ours for 100%.
Yeah. So is it fair to say that they should be doing a little bit better than where they are in the league right now?
Well, yeah. I think they should be doing better than where they are in the league, because this is their third attempt now. They're doing this yo-yo in like the hokey cokey of like doing well when they're not in Europe, doing badly.
And he's been there a few years, Sean. He's been there a few years.
For me, the biggest concern about Eddie Howe is that he always has arguments with his DOFs. Everywhere he's gone, at Bournemouth, at Newcastle, he churns through DOFs like their ex-girlfriends.
I mean, honestly, mate, the Newcastle one was a farce. Mind you, we can talk. They lost their director of football just before the transfer window opened in the summer, and they got linked with, it was like a who's who that they tried to sign and missed because their director of football wasn't in place. And right now, there's been lots of rumours about Fabio Paratici leaving Spurs and Johan Lang being in sole charge, which fills me with a whole load of dread. Yet, the funny thing is, he was at Crystal Palace yesterday, sitting with Vinay. So I'm not sure.
Hey, you've got listen. You've got to laugh about that, right? I'm pretty sure that I heard Ali Gold or somebody, maybe it was someone on TalkSport, somebody that's close to the club, that said, I'm pretty sure it was Ali Gold, but I might be wrong. But I'm pretty sure he said, Johan Lang and Paratici have been given Christmas off. Right, so as far as I'm aware, Paratici's back in Italy and Johan Lang is back in Denmark. Right? Can you imagine if Johan Lang is sitting there going, "Listen, Helga, yeah, I think maybe Fabio might be going to Italy, so good things." Good. And then all of a sudden he's sitting there. I'm just going to watch the game. He's sitting there watching the game. And then all of a sudden the camera pans to and there's Vinay and there's Paratici, and he spits his bloody eggnog out over the. Helga. Put me a ticket to London, quick! That bastard's taking my job.
Good. Fucking hope he gets there soon. Honestly.
You're supposed to be in Italy.
You're supposed to. I thought you were going to Fiorentina. Honestly. Listen, they should be doing everything they can to make him stay. The problem is, Thomas Frank and Johan Lang are in bed together. They're tight as anything, and that's going to be...
Are they though? Because Johan Lang was basically given a bit of a short shrift from when Frank said, "Yeah, look, the current model for identifying talent at Tottenham. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's nowhere near as good as it was at Brentford. Isn't that Thomas Frank's way of saying, Johan Lang, you haven't done anything that's worth writing home about with your talent ID model here, mate. Let's build something better together, shall we? Just because they're Danish, are we assuming that they're mates because they're Danish? Because Johnny,
no,
you're English, I'm English. I can't stand you, so let's not.
Listen, they kept waxing lyrical when he signed about their closeness and how they've remained friends for years and all this shit. So I wouldn't say. Yeah,
maybe it was fair enough. Yeah,
I wouldn't say it was particularly looking good for any of them, to be honest with you. What's your next update?
There's loads, mate. There's loads. I've got loads of them. Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. What have we got here? Barcelona want Manchester City defender Nathan Ake on loan.
Because he's cheap, mate. Because he's cheap.
Yeah.
That's the
it's
thing
unlikely
right now.
that City would sanction a loan move, but they would sanction a permanent move. We spoke about this the other day, didn't we? I'd take Nathan Ake in a heartbeat at Tottenham. He'd kill two birds with one stone.
Well, while you're on Barcelona are actively trying to get a loan move for Marc-Andre Stegen to Stegen. Would you take him to Spurs on loan to the end of the season with a view to buying him permanently?
I don't know.
Listen, I can't stand the way he kicks the ball, mate.
Sorry, go
on. He can't kick a ball, mate. I was watching it yesterday. Every time he got hold of the ball on his feet, I'm like in a panic. Yeah. And Barcelona are, actively trying to get rid of him on loan in the January window, so they can free up some space for another loan signing and balance it off with their wages, because that's the only way they're going to get players in at the moment. So I don't know. I think it would be not a bad option if it's a loan. We wouldn't need to be spending much money on it.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit inconsistent. He's very inconsistent, mate. He's a good goal. He was a good goalkeeper. I'm not sure he's quite as good as he was back then. On a loan deal, maybe. I hear you about the Vicario thing. He doesn't fill me with any confidence either. But I don't know. For me, if we're going to sell, what I'd like to see is Tottenham sell Vicario back to Milan and we go and get Mike Maignan. That would just be like bang bang, bing bang bong. We'll take Maignan. I don't even want any money for Vicario. Just do a straight swap.
Thank you very much.
See you later, Mike. In you come, mate. Here's the gloves. And let's see where we go. Before we carry on, mate, let me get there's some really, really generous super chats. Unbelievable stuff. First of all, Chudini, big up to you, Chudini. Always here, always supporting my man. And you get the choo-choo first one out of the traps, buddy. Thank you so much indeed. Very, very, very generous, man. I hope you're okay. I hope you're all good. But you know what? When you get a generous super sticker, of this sort of level, that sort of number is unbelievable. £20 super sticker from Voxaholic.
Thank you very much, guys.
Mate. That's unbelievable. So you haven't even put in a comment because you've chosen the super sticker route. So the only way we can really say thank you for that is to give you also. In fact, no, we're going to do the goal dance. Go! This is what we do when we get a powerful super sticker. Get a dance, Johnny? We love it. Big up to you, Bob Holly. Thank you very much.
We just lost 300 followers. What's going on?
I'm getting into my audio. I'm finding some new jingles and things every day now. It's Christmas time. A lot of time on hand. Unbelievable stuff. Big up to you, Box Holly. Thank you so much for the super generous super sticker, mate. Thank you very much indeed. And Nathan McCreary, big up to you, mate. Also, buddy, how are you, my man? How's life out in America? He says, hope you had a great Christmas. Enjoyed the Spurs win and wishing you a great 2026. Likewise, mate. Ditto, buddy, to you.
Thank you so much, Nathan. Yeah, good talking to you yesterday. Yeah, it was freezing cold yesterday at the Palace. I froze my bits off. Came back, got warm, but it was well worth it for once. For
So
once,
we got Ulrika Kaka who dries her bits off, and you fry your bits off.
It was freezing yesterday. It really was really cold, really cold. But I love that football.
Also, Nathan, I know you've sent Jonny a T-shirt that's the right size for me. Very much. I haven't actually picked up. I haven't seen Jonny for like 6 months, basically. So in the person, so I haven't got it off him yet. But thank you very much. I'm looking forward to wearing it, man. I hope it's nice. It's nice. I'm sure it's cold where you are as well, mate, isn't it? But thank you very much, mate, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. Big up to you guys. What an awesome way to start the show with some super chats. It's truly generous. What do you mean Euro trash? That is unbelievable. That song is unbelievable. That song is unbelievable. Suno does it again. There's no copyright there either. Big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to you. Jonny, shall we move on with the next story?
Yeah, well, Chelsea facing competition from PSG for Antonio Rudiger, the German defender who has a knack of getting stuck in and getting sent off. Experienced Champions League experience. How old is he now, Rudiger?
Oh,
30.
Very old, isn't he?
32, is he? 31?
32 years old.
32.
Case, mate. He's a feisty little git, that Rudiger.
But if you need experience, and you're going to play him in Champions League and games like that, wouldn't you have him there on the big game?
Who's the team you're talking about?
Well, Chelsea and PSG are both looking to sign him.
Wasn't Rudiger at Chelsea?
Before, yeah.
Years ago, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Chelsea? I'm right,
yep.
Yeah, he was, in 2017. Yeah.
Yep.
Listen, I'll take that. Yeah, Rudiger's he's an absolute baller, mate. Absolute baller. He's physical. He scores goals. He's great in the air. Exactly. Got a couple of years in him. Yeah, he's like if you need someone to step in to paper over some injury cracks or whatever, then Rudiger would be sensational. Yeah. It's amazing though, isn't it? That like this is the thing. A team like Chelsea, right? Like Chelsea are currently 4 points better than Tottenham. They are living off of the reputation that they built with their ill-gotten gains and their alleged cheating, because they won all these trophies and that propensity has built their brand. And yet, if a team like Tottenham went in to try and sign Anthony Rudiger, it would just be like, nah, not interested. Whereas
there'd be a meltdown. There'd be a meltdown.
No, I'm saying that Rudiger would just go up. I mean, I would take. I don't think we need Rudiger, but I'd say if we did need him, if we had a major injury to Romero or something and we had no one to cover, I would take Rudiger on a short-term deal. I think he's unbelievable, but he would never come to Tottenham. Whereas a player of that ilk would consider, like Leon Goretzka might have to sit there and ah about coming to Tottenham with his wife, with his family. Is there nobody better kind of thing? Whereas Chelsea pick up the phone. Yep, I'll go there.
Yeah.
Why? Chelsea are just as bad as Tottenham.
Well,
I mean,
not here. Sorry,
guys. You know what I mean?
Sorry,
they're not doing that much, are they?
Sean has been out in the cold weather for a long time.
Well, they're only 4 points better. They're only 4 points better. They're not doing any better in the Champions League. They're not doing any better in the Cup. They're out of the Carabao Cup as well.
Listen. Yeah, they are. Yeah. They are. Chelsea are also interested in signing the Bologna striker, and Bologna having a very good season again under their coach, Santiago Castro. I'm not sure what sort of oil he puts in his tank, but Santiago Castro is another one. He's been doing very well out in Italy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how old he is.
21 years old.
21.
Yeah.
Chelsea need a top striker.
He scored 5 goals this season. 1 cup, 4 in the league. He doesn't start. He only starts like half the games for Bologna.
Is it an age thing? I mean, listen. He's almost. Richie scored like 8 goals and 3 assists, I think, this season so far, and he's dog poo.
Isn't it interesting how new contracts coming up? You know, thinks he's going to be leaving soon. World Cup year. Just the motivations of certain players. Just
no. What it basically is, Sean, it's the first time without going into it too much.
He hasn't had any injury issues, has he, for a while? So
right, the injury, they've identified, the new team have identified a lot of what was being done wrong. Let's just put it like that. I'll leave it at there. And this is the fittest he's been since he's been at the club. But he's got to continue to score the goals. Interesting one here. Interesting one at Crystal Palace, mate. Talking about Chelsea, Crystal Palace are very interested in signing Raheem Sterling in January transfer window. Makes good sense, but surely Chelsea are going to have to subsidise that move.
Well, the wages, yeah. On a loan deal, I take it, right? Just because Ismail Sarr's out, isn't he, for the AFCON?
Yeah. I think maybe.
Does that mean does that mean then that Crystal Palace no longer interested? They're not pursuing Brennan Johnson like we hoped.
Well, yeah, because they'd have to pay proper money for him. And mate, I watched him yesterday. Honestly, I was going, pick your head up, pick your head up, pick your head up, pick your head up. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah.
No, not for me. Listen, Raheem Sterling. I mean, you got to remember he's been at it since 17 years of age, right? And all the abuse he gets now, he's not the player he was. Of course he's not, because he's played so many games for so many clubs and taken so many knocks and smashes. But I'm sure he could still do a job for Oliver Glasner. Probably still do a job for Spurs, in all fairness. But yeah, I'm not sure how that deal would work without Chelsea heavily subsidising the window. Could it be on a permanent? Would he take that? He's earned a lot of.
I don't think Palace would want him on a permanent. I think at this stage, I think he should go somewhere like Fulham,
where they take rehabilitated players to get rehabilitated.
They take Chelsea players, don't they? They take players that and he'll probably do okay. You know, I think he needs to. You know, is he going to work hard enough in the transition? Is he going to work hard? Is he going to enjoy the that kind of role in the Glasner system? I'm not sure it's a great fit. It's not a bad fit necessarily, but it's not. I don't think it's a worldwide fit. But I do think, obviously, you know, Palace are looking for additional numbers. They need additional numbers. I still think that he would be a substitute, you know, a squad player for them. I think he'd be a squad player for most teams that he'd want to go to. He'd be willing to go to. He could certainly provide a couple of goals here and there. But if I'm Oliver Glasner and I'm thinking you're going to offer me Raheem Sterling, that's not really the level of commitment that I'm looking for. But it looks like Glasner's leaving anyway, right? Glasner said he's not signing a new contract. I think he's kind of a little bit done at Palace, to be honest.
I mean, he was well fired up on the touchline yesterday. I was watching him, and he was not happy at all. The fact, well, he was happy that they dominated the team, dominated Spurs, but he was not happy with the end product. And I thought Mateta had a poor game yesterday. I know he's carrying a bit of a knee problem, but he had 2 or 3 chances to score yesterday. But hey ho, that's the way it is. Interesting, Liverpool, Sean. I think they're doing a bit of kidology with some of these players they're looking at. We're still not sure about Mo Salah. I'm sure they know in the back room what's really going on. Alexander Isak is going to probably be out for the remainder of the season. Probably, I would have thought. So they are definitely short. You know, they struggled against a poor Wolves team on the weekend. Yep. They've now been linked with a bid, a 70 million euro bid for Camavinga.
Yeah, I mean, what a player that! What a unbelievable signing that would be. He would be unbelievable in the Premier League. I'd love to see him play in the Premier League. He's such a he's mellifluous with his the ball at his feet, mate. He's just so silky. He's got an unbelievable pass on him and pings a lot. Oh, we've got to talk about some other pingy type of players that are linked to our club. But what a signing he would be, and he would be a perfect Liverpool player. Perfect.
So the fantasy signing that they really have identified as the one that, if they could get him out, is the one they'd really like as their number one signing defensively to go with Mark Gahey, is Alexander Bastoni. Is there any chance? I mean, if anyone could get him out of Inter, it's got to be Liverpool, no? With a big bid?
In England, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I can't imagine him playing anywhere else. I don't think he. I don't, mate. This is Inter Milan, mate. They get away with like being, they just get away with being who they are, and players want to go there. It's just a dream to play for them because.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a draw.
Hey, this a city.
Come here.
I love
eat
it here.
pasta. Eat the pasta. Kiss the women. Yeah.
Mate,
we don't have that.
A lot of transfer news regarding Tottenham, my man. We got to pivot to Spurs. I know, but for those of you that, by the way, there's like nearly 400 people here. We haven't had 400 people here since last summer. You can tell the transfer news includes. You can tell it's picking up.
Guys, hit the subscribe button if you're here for the first time. Tell us who you support, where you're from, because we've got people from all over the world to watch this. And if you want to comment in the chat, please go ahead. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you any money, guys. Doesn't cost you any money.
Yes. I never leave. Smash the subscriber, Smash the subscriber.
Okay.
And the like button. Mate, let's talk a little bit. Have you seen Ruben Neves?
Hang on 1 second. Before you stop there, before we go to Spurs, just before you go to Spurs, just want to ask you, do you believe, first of all, there's 150 million plus sales available, number one.
Sure.
Number two, if they don't pull off any sales, will they then blame Thomas Frank and say, we didn't believe in Thomas Frank, therefore we didn't want to invest in it and we want to save the money for the summer? I think they've got an out. Both. I think they've got an out here in multiple ways. This was Daniel Levy's signing. We didn't spend the money in the January transfer window because we're not sure on Thomas Frank. I think they got a few outs here.
Who? The owners?
Enoch, yeah. I think they got a few outs, mate.
No,
if they don't spend the money,
they got to put their hand in there.
Yeah, but if
they might have an out with Thomas Frank, mate. But the any kind of like, well, let's see what the new version of Enoch does. They got to show us. They got to show us the color of their money.
Could they not?
The next week, I don't want to fuck around. I don't want to sit around until the 7th of January, the 15th of January. I want to see 1st of January transfer news views includes Tottenham close to insert whichever bozo there. I need to. Oh, by the way, Johnny, I've got to talk to you backstage afterwards. I found this new little thing. You know how I like to do jingles.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be doing jingles in real version. I've kind of found this website where you can get like various costumes that I'm going to be wearing. I've ordered a giant flip flop, a 6-foot flip flop costume that goes over your head, and I've also ordered a donut costume. Okay, so I feel like I need to get you on this.
Oh, definitely, I'll be. I'm definitely up for it.
Spend 20 quid here, 20 quid there, right? We'll get a wardrobe of different outfits to wear on.
Tell me something though.
We got to increase the quality of the content, Johnny.
We have, guys. We have.
It's got to come from how we look. Okay?
Listen, if you come for serious chat, this isn't the play. No, we do chat serious football as well, but we like to have fun. Look, I'm being deadly serious, Sean. Here, could they, if they don't pull off the signings, will it then be construed as that they're not backing Thomas Frank? They don't rate Thomas Frank. That's why they didn't back him in the window and not say a word. And, they've got an out there as well. Because there's a lot of fans who are saying, don't give Thomas Frank any money. Don't give Johan Lang and Thomas Frank any money. Wait until the summer, right? Wait until the summer. We're not going to get relegated. Wait till the summer and then give it to a Pochettino or a Nagelsmann.
I think it's an interesting conversation. I've asked this question. I actually asked it yesterday on Spurs Talk Show. Like, would you rather Tottenham Hotspur don't sign anybody, but that by March, Johan Lang's out of the football club, Paratici's gone, and Louis Campos is in?
I'd be over my mood.
Yeah. Right, and then you get Louis Campos, and he gets a £300 million war chest for the summer, and he also gets to pick his next manager. Right, like, would you take that if it meant, because you're not going to get relegated, right, and you're not going to win, win anything?
Mate, of course I would take that. I would, because he's a top. Yeah, if you listen, if Paratici's staying, I'm fine with whatever happens. If Johan Lang is staying, and
You're not okay.
Paratici's leaving, I'm not okay with it. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I hear you. But like on those sorts of terms, I think you could get on board it. But unfortunately, the reality is you're not going to know those sorts of things until after the fact. And in the meantime, what you're going to have is January. Every day that goes past that Tottenham don't sign anybody, you're going to have the fan base that are continually, amplifying their resistance and their frustration, and it's just going to be toxic and horrendous. And you won't know any of those things until after the fact. So, for me, I hear you on that they have an out with the Thomas Frank appointment because it was Daniel Levy, but I don't think it actually was because Vinay was in place.
Yeah.
When Thomas Frank was here, right? And Vinay said we went through a whole profile.
He was waxing lyrical. Yeah.
But I don't rate Vinay, mate. My experiences of seeing him so far have been that he's a number 2 that's been elevated to number 1, and he hasn't got number 1 level cojones because he made a bullshit decision to give co-director a football role. And I think it's nonsense. Anyway, listen, I don't want to make this whole thing about Tottenham, but we do have to talk a little bit about some of the Tottenham transfer news, of which there is a lot. But most of these names also covers other teams as well. So here's the story. First one, Ruben Neves, right? So Ruben Neves, the story's out that we think, you and I spoke about this ad nauseum, that he's leaving Al Hilal either in January or in the summer. In the summer, it's going to be a freebie. I don't think if it's 10 million euros, 15 million euros, whatever.
Big deal.
An amazing deal.
Man U for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Man United are looking at him.
Yeah.
Tottenham are looking at him. Real Madrid apparently looking at him, but they're never going to sign him. No chance. But there's like 4 or 5 clubs that are looking at him. But according to reports, Manchester United view Al Hilal midfielder Ruben Neves only as a drastic late backup plan, as they consider other midfield targets a priority in January. And they're talking about players like Carlos Baleba. They're talking about Adam Wharton.
Anderson.
We'll come to those guys in a minute.
Conor Gallagher. Yeah.
Well, we'll come to those guys in a second. I agree with you that if Ruben Neves has his pick, and he probably does, he picks United ahead of Tottenham, the Portuguese connection, all that stuff. Are you more than okay if United go and find someone else and Tottenham go and get Ruben Neves? Because for where we're at in our own cycle, like I'm sitting there thinking, like the same people that are talking about Leon Goretzka, avoid him, he's washed. Like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. He isn't washed. He's an absolutely unbelievable caliber of footballer. But like, it's okay for where we are at. Like, yes, you might want to have an Adam Wharton, but you're probably not going to get him. Yes, you would like to have a Carlos Baleba, but you probably can't justify that expense relative to how many gaps we have. Yes, you would love to have, insert any number of other names there, but you might not get them because the pecking order is the pecking order, Johnny. For me, if United go, Neves can be a lastminute.com if we fail elsewhere, would you be okay if Tottenham went, no,
how old is he now,
You're not a backup for us.
Yeah, the only thing I would say about Ruben Neves is, having played Al Hilal 28 for that length of time, I wonder whether, I don't think he's just going to be able to come straight back into the Premier League and be up to speed. The Ruben Neves that left to go to Saudi, I would have taken all day long. I think most fans would have, from many clubs, to be honest with you. I was a bit shocked that he went there, but he secured his family's future probably for a couple of generations. Good luck to him. He's 28 now. He's going to come back and play football. So would I take him? I would. Had it been at the beginning of the season, because I think we would have got him up to speed. I just wonder whether can he come in? Can he really come in and get up to speed again with the Premier League?
Ruben Neves.
Yeah,
it's a fair question. It's also a fair question about his pace. Like, he doesn't have a lot of pace, right? But I think other people. He never struggled with that in the Wolves team. You look, if Tottenham are looking for someone that can be the conductor, that could just get his foot on the ball and just like slow the pace down, speed it up when he needs to, and then ping it. So pings a lot into the channels. He wouldn't work unless you also go and get a left winger, right? You need the other pieces for it to work. Pace, youth.
He needs pass protection, as they say in the NFL, right?
Correct.
He needs pass protection. He could be your quarterback because he can.
You need the other pieces in play.
Yeah.
But But I'd be over the moon to sign Ruben Neves, and I would take the risk because it is a fair question, right? There isn't a single player in the history of Saudi Arabia that has has come from the Premier League and then gone to Saudi Arabia and then come back to the Premier League directly. There's only one example of anybody that's come back from there, and that's Jordan Henderson, but he went via Ajax. So he kind of got a little bit up to speed in the Dutch football and then maybe and he's done okay at Brentford. But he's also 33, 34, whatever he is. And he's someone that's treated himself very well. And he's always been someone that looks after himself. And he's not expected to play a major part of the Brentford team. He's he plays as a 34-year-old level of minutes would dictate. Ruben Neves was the first guy, Johnny, in the Saudi project that left a top league at his peak or before his peak.
Yeah, it was amazing that he did that. I must just clarify. Yeah, I must just clarify, Guy. When I say, he will struggle with pace, I know he was never quick before. I understand that. But there's mental awareness, sharpness. We've seen Xavi Simons.
Acuity. I think the word is acuity.
Listen, look, Xavi Simons isn't slow. Yeah, he came in, same as Florian Wirtz. They came in, they weren't slow players, but it's the pace of the league. It's, you don't have any time to dwell on the ball. I'm not talking about running. I'm talking about, perception, field of view, everything.
Mental acuity, just like sharpness.
Yeah. That's my only concern. But would I take him and add to my squad? Of course I would. Of course I would for that money. Who else you got? We got Savinho, but look. Let's just talk about Savinho very quickly, right? First of all, okay, we were all over Savinho. Every fan wanted Savinho. We didn't get him, right? Then we heard thank God we didn't get him. £80 million, that would have been another mistake from Johan Lang. All that money down the drain is it's been crap. Now we're linked with him again, right? Having wanted him, then not wanted him. I can't see any shape, way, or form that he would leave Manchester City just for game time so he could go to the World Cup to come to Spurs. Can you see it, Sean?
Savinho?
Yeah.
Well, you can't see him coming to Tottenham?
Well, would you want him?
No, that's not the question. What was the question? Would he come, or was the question, do you want him?
Okay, would he come?
I think he would come. Do I want him? Not as much as a lot of people do.
Would you take Lookman over him?
Yeah,
100%. Okay. Not that we mentioned Lookman very much in this.
do you know the amount of comments I get? I get emails from people, mate. I don't get very many emails, right? But I get emails from people going, mate, I left this message on your chat, you didn't respond. I left this message in the comment section, you haven't liked it, hearted, or anything else. I even left this message on your Spotify. You haven't responded. So I'm going to tell you now, once and for all, please, for the fucking love of God, stop mentioning fucking Lookman.
I wish he'd go somewhere.
He's just part of the conversation. He's part of the chat. Are we doing it?
I wish he'd go somewhere so then we can rule it out and never mention him again. But if he does,
what? He's one of those players that, listen, mate, if he does come to Tottenham and he struggles, then obviously my career in football is done. Yeah. I'm dragging you down with me, Johnny. You're coming with me, bro.
I'm coming with you.
Not end the stream, Dave. End the channel, Dave.
Yeah, look, he hasn't. Look, the thing is, Savinho, even if he did come to us, which I'm not sure he would, has he really done it at Manchester City? He is a quality player.
No, what though, Johnny? What I would say, mate, I went earlier on. I've got it in front of me. I was watching.
Hasn't hit Jirona form, has he? He has not.
I went back and watched his highlights from Girona.
Yeah,
he was a left winger at Girona.
Yeah,
he was delicious at Girona. Delicious. Like some of the take on, some of the way that he would knock it past a man and then just beat them for pace on the outside. He was like,
mate, I don't know, Brian Gill. Gill.
No, he was a puppy. He was like a Jack Russell puppy that was just like boundless energy. At City, I just don't think that he has the way that he's the team, the way that City play, and the way that other teams play against City. I don't think he has the space to do it like he did at Girona. And that's an important consideration as well. Like, how do teams consider Tottenham? Are teams going to set up a certain way against Tottenham where we have to low block? it doesn't feel like we have to at the moment. I don't think we have the respect of the vast majority of the teams that we play against. Where we look at who did we lose to recently? Oh, so who did we play recently? It wasn't Liverpool. Who was the game before Liverpool? Palace. Was it Forest?
No, Forest.
Forest, right?
Yeah, I tried to block that one out, Sean, to be honest with you.
Forest went 2-0 up. They didn't settle in. They were pushing for a third. There was zero respect for the threat that Tottenham offered. Right. And whereas a team goes 1-0 up against City, they sit back and go, let's just hold on for dear life, hang on as much as we can. And so do wingers have the ability then? Is it as easy to take on players if it's bank of 5 or bank of 4? So maybe Savio's just struggling in that kind of level, against that kind of consistent model. I'm not at Tottenham. I think most teams don't have that respect for Tottenham as much as.
Funny you say that, Sean. Last season we came up against a lot of low blocks. That's the way to negate Ange Postecoglou, was to set up a low block, and we couldn't break it down. But I get your point. Let's just look, as a Spurs fan. Let's just establish it, mate. Are you interested in coming? Yes or no? Right. Not interested in the 4-week drawn-out saga adding to the summer. If you are interested in coming, great. Are Manchester City interested in selling? No. Yeah. Right. Move on. Don't waste any time. I don't want to waste any time chasing fucking rainbows.
Well, I think that it will hinge on the Semenyo deal, but that looks like that's pretty much done. And that will take place on the 10th of January, according to reports that I've read, that's when that window opens.
I'll tell you who I would take, though, Sean.
So maybe that means that if they're very if they're very confident that they're getting Semenyo on the 10th, then maybe we can get Savinho before the 10th. I'll
tell you who I would take, though, Sean. And, I couldn't understand why they got rid of him in the first place. He's gone out to Italy and he's been absolutely superb. And every time I watch him in a game, he just enforces it, but he's not fashionable. If his name was Scott McTominay, I think people would be bang into him. I would take Scott McTominay at Spurs all day long, mate. He's an aerial menace. He scores goals. He's
in what
powerful.
Role would you play him?
I'd find a place for him, mate. I'd play a place for him, mate. I wouldn't have any problem finding a place for him. That's the type of signing that maybe Paratici could pull off,
if he's still here. Yeah,
if he's still here. What are your thoughts? I know Newcastle are after him.
Yeah, I've always liked McTominay. I've always liked him. I always thought he was given this lack of respect when he was at United, and I think United suffered for selling him. He popped up with so many late goals. He's played in a variety of positions as well. He's played as a 6. He's played in the double pivot. He's played in the more box-to-box role. He's even played as a 10. Like he's played the kind of full gamut of. He's a kind of complete. I won't say complete midfielder. That means that he's perfect. But I mean, he's got the ability to do whatever's asked of him. He's a workhorse as well. He's not a show pony, which I love. I hate show ponies, or I hate a disproportionate value. If you're going to have one or two show ponies,
fur coat, no knickers, right? That's yeah.
Exactly. Stop talking about my Friday night. Are you the hacker, Johnny? Are you watching what I was up to?
Drew's hit a good point here. Drew Zilla, right? Member for 6 months. What's he's got here? Big up, lads. Oops, where's he gone? Big up, lads. Talk of a new mid is great, but we have to ask, where do you see Kulu fitting in when he comes back? I prefer him as an 8 and 10 role, not as a winger. Look, I don't believe. I've been saying since the end of the season, you won't see him till next year. I'm going to be proved right. And I said February, if you're lucky. The problem is, when you've not played for a year, you can't just run out onto the pitch. You've had no pre-season. You've had it's going to take a long, long time. I can't see Kulu offering many minutes. I think his main hope maybe is to get back for March for Sweden's World Cup qualifiers, and the hope of trying to get to the World Cup.
Imagine.
But imagine that. I can't.
He's not. I haven't seen him, Johnny. I haven't seen him on training videos.
He's not even on the grass like Solanke.
Yeah,
which is what Yeah.
I think the pair of them have been sent off to the gulag somewhere. I don't know.
I
what's
don't know,
going on.
mate.
Big up to you, Drew, mate. Thank you very much for your membership, mate. I love you, buddy. Listen, look forward to getting you on the channel soon as well, my man. We're going to do a comedy special at the end of the next few days, aren't we? That guy, boy, Johnny, that guy's accents. He's got your accent, absolutely.
I know. I heard.
Sean, good player. Told you. I said it, Sean.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very good.
He also does a fantastic impression of.
Who else you got for
Gary
Spurs?
Fuller's.
Because I've got a couple for Man U.
Yeah, we got this Omar Marmoush story. Again, I see people talking about it there ahead of us in the chat. Anthony Clark is saying he's on 295k a week. Tottenham will have to pay him 350 grand to get. I think he's actually on more than 295. Anthony Clark. I think he's on over 300. I mean, it's pipe dream stuff. It's never going to happen, right? Never, ever, ever going to happen.
That was the dream double. Ekitike and Marmoush at Eintracht Frankfurt. They were like a deadly duo. Sean and I were talking about them. We ended up with none. But, got to strike while the iron's hot.
And the only other story for you, I did a video about this stuff earlier on my other channel. Stankovic, Alexander Stankovic is hot again. Tottenham are interested in him. Mate, I went and ran him back through the Y Scout tool to refamiliarize.
Club Brugge, Stankovic. Club
Brugge, yeah. He is a Sapingza-lot, right? Deep lying register playmaker. I know that Jacko Cat says he wasn't a big time in the Inter Academy. But that doesn't mean maybe something was slow. But he's 20 years old, right? He's played 30 games this season already. And he is an ever-present in the Brugge team. I love the way that Brugge play football. As you know, we love them. We love Brugge at home. In the Champions League, they're incredible. Don't see too much of them I think it's the Super League or whatever.
Always produce good players. Belgium are producing top players now.
Well, he came from Inter, right? So he's brought into them. But if you go and watch his highlight reel, mate, his highlight reel is he gets the ball deep. He picks the ball on the edge of the D, and he just pings a lot. Whips 30, Toby Alderweireld sort of stuff, like pings it into the channel.
Joachim Anderson pings.
Yeah, that kind of thing. He's a DM that does it.
Yeah.
He's a midfielder that does it. He's not. Yeah. He also pops up and scores goals. The more I've looked at him, mate, the more I rate him. He's only 20 years old. The question is, though, would Tottenham fans tolerate another import?
Well, if he's going straight into the team, Sean, they'll tolerate it. If he's going to go and sit on the bench, they'll have no interest whatsoever. The problem is, yet again, Arsenal are very much interested in Stankovic. Even though they signed 8 players in the summer,
they're not done.
They're not done. Yeah, they're not done. He's come out today and said,
he'll go there and he'll sit on the bench
and be happy.
And be happy. It comes to like. This is the difference between the two clubs, right? They fixed the first thing first. They fixed their first team. The first team's fine. Now let's think about tomorrow. We're sitting there and thinking about Stankovic today. That's the difference between the two clubs.
Correct.
And that's a problem for me.
Yeah. We're way behind it, mate. Way behind it. Manchester United still being linked now.
Jesus Christ. Hang on. Sorry. Just quickly, Jimmy.
Jesus Christ, ain't coming. Yes. Yeah, he was. Serious car accident. I saw it
Is he all right?
He was injured. The two at the front were both killed. But it just shows you what it's like in Nigeria.
It's in Nigeria. Wow.
Yeah, it was in Nigeria. Massive crash. People scurrying all around the crash site, dragging him out. I mean, the one thing you do is you lay the victim flat because you don't know whether there's been any internal injuries. There was no ambulance.
You're supposed to leave them in the car, aren't you? Unless let's leave them alone until medical people get there. Unless the car's about to blow up.
No ambulance came. No medical people. They dragged him out, then tried to stick his T-shirt back on. And the last thing I saw was him being taken away in a police car. No medical there at all. So, before we complain about the NHS or the medical facilities in your country, have a look at that scene. But that's boxing for you. Hope he's wish him a speedy recovery.
That's boxing for you.
And here's boxing for you. There's boxing for you.
Boxing's got to do it.
Listen,
I hope it's okay. I hope everyone's okay. Apart from
terrible news and thoughts with the families of the two that died, but he seems to be okay. Conor Gallagher, Atletico Madrid, they seem to have come up with a number now. I think what did they buy him for? Was it 50 million, Atletico Madrid?
Yeah, about that.
Conor Gallagher. They're looking now for 30 million euros.
Who?
In January. Conor Gallagher.
Conor McGallagher.
Conor Gallagher.
Hey, I'll fight you, and then I'll kick a ball with you.
Yeah, because Conor Gallagher won't come to Spurs, but Conor McGallagher might. Yeah. So they've been linked with him. Joshua Zirkzee is still trying to get to Roma. I reckon that deal will happen in January, maybe a loan deal. And the other one, Manchester United are interested in signing the Mali international attacker Lassine Sinioko. I can't say I know who he is.
No idea.
They're also interested in Hoffenheim winger Bazuma Traore. I got to be honest with you. If I added up the amount of midfielders and attackers and defenders Man United have been linked with in the last 2-3 weeks, I would actually think it must be about 15 or 16 different players. So obviously a lot of smoke and mirrors, but I do think, judging by the threadbare nature of Man United's squad at the moment, that they'd definitely be looking to do serious business in January.
Yeah. I just wonder whether they're going to go for Adam Wharton or if they're going to go for Carlos Baliba or if they're going to go somewhere else.
I'd go for Anderson and Wharton over Baliba all day long, personally, at this stage. Guaranteed.
You know what's interesting, mate? I actually did a video earlier and I was looking at Adam Wharton's stats. His stats are not that great. His stats look actually very, very like.
But he's.
If you were just a data guy, a stats guy, I'll show you right now. I'll show you.
Yeah, no, I've seen him. But show the chat. My eyes don't lie, mate.
No, I agree with you. You. 100%.
My eyes don't lie. The first 20 minutes against Spurs yesterday, I mean, Archie Gray was being given a lesson.
Look at this, right?
He wins the ball and gives it.
This is Adam Wharton, right?
Yeah.
So not a hell of a lot in terms of output. Obviously, he's a 6. Shooting stats horrendous. Passing stats. Passes completed per game. Passes attempted. Pass completion rate 74 percentile.
Yeah.
Right. Short passes. Medium passes. Obviously, he likes to ping it around a little bit.
Mate, there's a lot of good about his game.
I know. We all know that. I'm just saying, like, I can't speak. Statistically,
yeah.
If you remove the context of the style,
why you got to mix the both, Sean.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I'm old school, mate.
Look at that.
I know. I'm old school.
I'm just saying, if you weren't aware of Adam Wharton, if you were like a YouTube channel in, I don't know, Spain
Zimbabwe,
or Italy, wherever, right? And you're talking about, apparently Como are interested in signing this guy called Adam Wharton, and you were like, you'd heard of the name, but you didn't watch that much Premier League because you were mainly a Serie A guy, right?
Yeah.
And he plays for Crystal Palace, so you'd heard the name a lot, but because Crystal Palace weren't really a Champions League team or whatever else, you were like, let's have a look at him. You would look at those stats and go, yeah, no, he's dog shit. Obviously he isn't. Obviously he's fantastic, but it's just amazing, isn't it? How like some people just rely on the stats, some people rely on the eye test, but you need to blend the two. I don't know. I just think it's interesting.
Look, for me, I was a massive fan of his when he was at Blackburn, and this is the difference. You know, if you're a top scout, Spurs should have gone in and bought Adam Wharton for 25 million, right, rather than buying Archie Gray. I'm not saying Archie Gray's not going to go on to become a great player, but for me, Adam Wharton was the standout in the Championship for Blackburn. He was a complete linchpin of that Blackburn team, and he came straight into Palace. had an immediate effect. And I think he would have an immediate effect if we place him in the Spurs team. Now you're looking at 80 million. The same as Thiago, 35 million out of Bruges. There's lots of signings that have been made by clubs. What we should maybe do, Sean, as Spurs, when if Fabio leaves, as soon as Brighton and Bournemouth are linked with a player, we should nip in and get the same player.
Yeah. Well,
there's a player. Now, here is a player who passes the eye test and the stat test.
Look at that. Unbelievable. This is
Yeah.
what
No relation.
I want to see what your carrying distance is, what your progressive carries are, and then I also want to look at your passing stats as a midfielder.
By the way, he's no relation to Ben Stiller, just in case you're wondering.
Merman, Pop! Merman!
No relation to Ben. Sean, we got the fantasy football.
We haven't got to do them first, mate. No one cares about fantasy football. No one cares about FPL. What we do care about
no, not fantasy.
Predicciones. We do care about the predicciones.
We've got to do that now. Let's do that now.
All right, let's go. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look. See, it's time, guys. It's time.
Who's gonna win this weekend? Gotta predict the scores. Gotta be Nostradamus, picking wins, losses, and draws. Who's gonna win this weekend? Gotta predict the scores. Gotta be Nostradamus, picking wins, losses, and draws.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here, then you have been missing out on the predicciones. Over the last 18 weeks, we have tussled and hustled and bustled our way towards a certain amount of points. Going into the weekend, Johnny H had managed to pick up 99 points. What I can confirm, Johnny, is you're now part of the Centurion Club. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's taken a while. I am the Wolves of the Predictione League, by the way, just for any newcomers. Go on.
The chat predicted well over the course of the last 17 weeks, 122 points, so 23 points ahead. 10 points behind yours truly, though, on 132 points was myself going into the weekend's fixtures. Now, should we go for it? Manchester United versus Newcastle. I predicted 2-2. You predicted 2-1 to Newcastle. And the chat, who was it who played the role of the chat? It wasn't Dangly Balls, was it? Who did it?
No, it was from Nepal.
Spurs Nepal. Spurs
Nepal, yeah.
He also predicted 3-1 to Newcastle. It turned out to be 1-0 to, was it 1-0 to Manchester United?
Man U, 1-0 to Man U. I thought Newcastle were extremely disappointing. I got to be honest with you. Yeah. With so many players out, with no, with Fernandez and so many other players out, I thought Newcastle would be their opportunity to finally win a game at home, which is why I went for the Newcastle win. But it wasn't to be. And Patrick Dorgu, who was fantastic in that game. He had a really superb game, start to finish, and got a really nice goal to boot, and a deserved victory, Sean.
Yeah. People are going to get caught up in the trap of thinking that United are going to do well, and then they're going to end up dropping them points in the next couple of days as well. That's what they've got. I'm not sure they've got. Oh, wait, do we have to do predicciones on the other? Do we have to?
We'll do that tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. Do that tomorrow.
All right, so that's so we got nil point each in that particular game. Yeah. Forest versus Manchester City. We all predicted City wins. I went for 3-1. You went for 3-0, and the chat went for 2-0 or 2-1. Sorry. What was the actual scoreline now? I forget.
2-1. So he's got 3 points.
2-1. Yeah. Nepal gets the 3 points there. Congratulations. So 1 point, triple points to Nepal. Very, very good.
That was an interesting game, Sean, that one. I mean, look, Manchester City, they race into a 2-0 lead. It's looking good. Most people, on the fantasy had Haaland to score and Foden on form. Ryan Cherky doing what he does best again. But Amari Hutchinson, with the goal to make it 1-1. Sorry, we're 1-0 up. Rangers scored the first one. Amari Hutchinson made it level. And then a beautiful set piece, an arranged set piece, saw Ryan Cherky smash one in the 83rd minute. And I don't know if you saw it, but Pep ran across and body checked the set piece coach. Because it was a moment, because, you know, I thought Forest would give them a tough game. I spoke about it before the game, that I thought they'd give them a tough game, and they did.
Yep. Yeah, they did indeed. Well done for Nepal for getting his predictions off to a good start. 3 points there. Arsenal, Brighton. I went for 1-0 to Arsenal. You went for 2-1 to Brighton, and the chat went for 2-2. Nepal went for 2-2. The scoreline was 2-1 to Arsenal. I don't know. Again, mate. Arsenal fan. All I see is non-Arsenal fans like Henry and Terry Flewers and that donut Mo waxing lyrical because they're all trying to get on board. They're all trying to get that Arsenal click juice, right? They're all trying to get that stuff. Arsenal are incredible. Arsenal are amazing. Arsenal weren't incredible. Arsenal weren't amazing,
mate.
Actually, the real Arsenal fans, the actual genuine Arsenal fans in the content community are concerned about their form. They're really concerned about how they're playing right now.
But let me tell you something. Isn't it the mark of a champion when you, in 4 games, you score 4 own goals and a penalty and win 4 goals? Now, I'll put that into my team, Spurs, or our team, Spurs. If that happened with Spurs, right, and we'd won 4 on the trot, all the fan base would be going, Thomas Frank is shite, get him out, right? He's absolute toilet. But he's lauded. I know, but he's lauded. He's lauded for the turgid thing. They spent £285 million.
Because they're at the point in that cycle where results are all that matters. Performances are irrelevant.
Yeah, but come on, Sean. Come on, Sean.
You at the start,
it was terrible.
There's different things, mate. It's different.
No, but still, mate.
If you're at the point of your 5-year cycle where you've already proven that you can turn it on when you want to and all that stuff, they've got good performances in the locker. Thomas Frank hasn't got any.
No, I'm just, mate. Hang on a second, right? Okay. No one's going to tell me those wins against Wolves, scraping again with an own goal win, right, against Crystal Palace, who rested half of their bloody team, right? Oh, come on, you know they're getting away with one at the moment. They're definitely getting away with it.
They are, but no one's judging Arteta on performances.
But they're not. But let me tell you something. Every time they're playing someone, they're not only that. Wolves were without players. They played Everton, right? They had no Ndai. They had no Dewsbury Hall. They played Brighton, right? They had no Matoma. They had no Belieber. They had 4 players out. And next week, they're going to be playing Aston Villa with no Matty Cash, which is a huge blow for them. So it's happening for them. My point is, it's feeling like it's written in the stars, mate, unfortunately.
No, it isn't. It isn't.
I hope it isn't, but it's feeling like it.
They're gonna crumble again, mate. I actually think that Villa might be the victors. Villa are fucking terrifying.
I'd love it, mate. I'd love it.
Villa are terrifying.
I love it.
Brentford versus. So I got the only point in that particular fixture. Brentford versus Bournemouth. I went for 1-1, as did Nepal, and then you went for a 2-1 Brentford win. Brentford consummate ease, mate. Consummate ease against a Bournemouth team that just look like a shell of their former selves at the moment. Unbelievable. Brentford are doing really well, mate. They're 8th in the league.
Yeah, they're doing
fantastic, didn't we?
Yeah, we thought they'd be in trouble, mate. But the smooth operator keeps going, mate. Kevin Sade, a hat trick, mate. A hat trick. Yeah, I mean, you know, they keep producing. Operator. Smooth operator. Yeah.
Very 4-1.
4-1, mate. What can you say? And, you know, as predicted, the Burnley Everton game was going to be a turgid game.
I said to you, it's an absolute stink fest. Yeah. And I went, the only scoreline that represents how boring a game I think this is 0-0. and it was bang on the fucking money.
Yeah, you were bang on, mate. Bang on. Bang on.
Yeah. You went for 2-1, and Nepal also went for 0-0, I think. So yeah, he gets 3 points there as well. I think you copied me there, Nepal, you little git. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Liverpool, nothing to say about that game. Absolutely terrible. Liverpool Wolves. We all went for home wins. I went for 3-0. You went for 4-0, and Nepal went for 2-0. 1 point apiece there. Sorry.
Not convincing, though, Sean.
Not convincing again. Not convincing again, mate.
I mean, you know, you'd think Ekitike, you know, having you see Florian Wirtz, though, that's a goal and an assist in 2 games. Has the tide finally turned for them? You know, Santiago Bueno scored a goal to make it 2-1 and made it nervous. Honestly, nervous.
Just quickly, problem with the microphone. Whose microphone is there a problem with?
Don't know whose it is.
Not sure about that. I hope it's not too bad. Let us
No,
know.
no one else has mentioned it.
Okay.
Okay. What score did you go for, Sean?
On the game between Liverpool and Wolves, or West Ham Fulham, sorry. Liverpool Wolves, I said 3-0, you said 4-0, chat said 2-0. The actual score was 2-1, wasn't it?
Yeah. So 1 point each.
1 point each. West Ham, Fulham, we all got completely wrong. I went for a West Ham win. You went for a West Ham win, and Nepal went for a score draw. Fulham again, mate. 3 wins on the bounce, and people are starting to talk about Marco Bloody Silva.
Raul Jimenez back in form, mate. Raul Jimenez, he's over his head clash.
Isn't it a penalty?
Yeah, but he's you know, he's back in form, mate. If you watched him in the last 2 or 3 games, he's back on form, mate. Back on form. Not much more you can say about him. The game of the day, though, for me, the game of the weekend was Chelsea versus Villa. I had to get in the car. I had to go somewhere, and it was 1-0 to Chelsea. And by the time I got to my destination, it was 2-1 Villa. I got into the restaurant, opened up my phone, and started punching the air. They go, "What's happened, John? What's happened?" I go, 2-1 Villa. And they go, "Are you joking? Is that how you support Spurs?" Yeah, I know, but I wanted Villa to be part of the Championship.
And you picked the Chelsea win.
I know that. Mate.
As did the Nepal. I didn't know. I picked a Villa win. I predicted it be more goals than there were. I said 3-2 to Villa.
What did I go? 3-2 Chelsea.
You went 2-1 Chelsea. As
2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah. So I get the point there. Cracking game, and the Villa just looks terrifying. And then on the Sunday games, only 2 games: Sunderland versus Leeds. You absolutely nailed this one, mate. You said 1-1. I said 2-1 to Leeds, and Nepal went for a score draw as well, but he went for 2-2. So he gets a point. You get all 3. I get 0 points.
Can I just say,
decent result to Leeds, that, mate. Decent result.
Yeah. Listen, Dominic Calvert-Lewin,
proving us all wrong, isn't he?
That is the first time. First of all, I don't know if you watch it. If you haven't seen it, go and watch Leeds United's goal that Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored. It was touched by all 11 players in the moves to the goal, with Brennan Harrison making that cross. But it was a landmark moment. No Leeds United player has scored in 6 successive games in the top flight since John McCall in 1959-1960. I mean, it's quite amazing. So many fans breathed a sigh of relief when they didn't sign Dominic
I was willing to go
Calvert-Lewin.
leave you out if we sign that donut.
Let me tell you something. I was one of them. Sean was another. And there were many more like us. But right now, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is absolutely on fire. 6 in 6. Can't knock it, mate. He's injury-free, and he's absolutely smashing it.
By the way, mate, at the start of the season, he's had plenty of other chances that didn't go his way. He could be on like 12, 13 goals if it wasn't for some a little bit of bad luck at the start of the season. Leeds are playing to his strength, and he's getting in the right positions, and he's turned the tide. And fair play to him, fair play. Got to give credit where it's due. Still wouldn't want to touch him with your barge pole, Johnny, but
no, he wouldn't get near my barge pole.
I reckon his own barge pole's pretty long, to be honest.
Yeah. And then,
of course, the last game of the weekend to round it off was Tottenham against Palace away. I went for a 2-2. You went for 2-1 Spurs, and the chat Nepal went for 1-1. So you get a point there. Congratulations for backing your team.
I actually, funny enough, on the Spurs 5, I predicted 1-0. I don't know why I changed it.
Did you predict 1-0?
Yeah.
Well, you're back in contention then, mate.
I don't know about that, mate. I don't know about that. Because the goal scorers, the chat had Ekitike, who got an assist.
Yep.
So he gets an extra point.
Yep. Bowen, you had Bowen, and he got no point.
He didn't even turn up. I don't know where he is, mate. I don't know if he's come off the pitch yet. And you had,
and I had João Pedro, who got a goal.
Yeah. So you got 3. Yeah.
So on the basis of the back of that, I win the week with 10 points. 10 points. For those of you that speak a little bit of la français, the romantic language of success. 10 points for me. You've got 7 points, and the chat get 9 points, which takes us to a new total of you, my man. Congratulations on being part of the Centurion Club.
106.
You're on 106. The chat goes to 131, but Butler, I don't know what you want from me.
What's he? 142? 143?
142.
142. It can be closed up, guys. It can be closed up. It definitely can be closed up for sure.
I don't know what you want from me, Johnny. I'm sorry, guys. I just feel like...
He's an annoying gloater, CC. You're 100% right. Spurs Nepal, congratulations. Well done, mate. 9 points, not to be sniffed at. Well done. I wish I'd have stuck with my 1-0, and that would have elevated me to also get 9 points. And Jared Bowen.
Yep.
I have an ability.
Ryan G, you are up. You are up tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, mate. Make sure you're here, Ryan, for the predicciones.
Tomorrow lunchtime, some point between 12 and 3 or whatever, we'll be here.
Yeah.
We'll have you on then. Big up to you, Spurs Nepal. Good effort, mate. Good effort. Listen, you battled valiantly. You had a good effort, mate. You managed to get 2 correct score lines, by the way, which is seldom seen.
And Ekitike, and I've got to be honest with you, Ekitike has let you down, because to have Ekitike at home against Wolves, I expected him to get more than 1 point, to be honest. And let me tell you, João Pedro, that 3 points, mate, it hit him. It hit the back of his leg, and he claimed it. That was Reece James's goal, mate, more or less. But it is what it is. Guys, if you please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, please. Help us channel grow, because we're trying to get now to 6,000. And if you're listening in audio, I know there's lots of you growing numbers on the audio. Tell your friends, tell everybody, try and get more people to listen to watch the channel. Please hit the follow button, because we're trying to grow the Spotify and Apple audios. So anything more, Sean? I think that's it for now.
We'll round it off. We're 20 minutes over the time anyway. But guys, we'll be back tonight. Johnny and I will be on Spurs 5 at 8 p.m. And Ramblings will be on tomorrow night, Destiny. So I'll see you there, mate. But we'll see you guys later on the Spurs 5. Please look. I'm going to send you over now to the Hotspur Hood. Stay where you are, guys. Hotspur Hood has got a show going on, a Tottenham panel. So if you are a Tottenham fan, then hang around. We'll be Don't
forget.
Please do smash Football Inc. raid into the chat. Football Inc. raid. Let them know where you came from and show them support over there. Sorry, Johnny.
Don't forget the OK jersey Get your football and sports clothing stuff, and don't forget with the code FINK. I think it would be a good idea because you get 8% off. 8% off. All right, guys. FINC. Yeah. FINC.
You get 0% off with Fink with a K. You get 8% off with a C. Guys, we'll see you later on. Appreciate you, everyone. Later. Take care. It's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from him.
Bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.